When we speak about marriage and relationships on soul terms, that's really what we're talking about. How we can share the soul journey with each other. How we allow each other permission to pull us up on our stuff. You know, if we're being thoughtless, insensitive, a little bit selfish, or something like that, that we have somebody who will kind of nudge us and kind of go, listen, I need to say this to you. And we give them the space to do that. And then we give ourselves space to respond to that. Then it can be really healing. Imagine two people seeing each other in that way. Imagine how powerful that could be. Both just want the other person to be their maximum self. Maximum potential, really true to themselves. It's really attractive, isn't it? Somebody being true to themselves and being authentic, that's really sexy. Being confident, putting you in your place every now and then, that's really sexy. Somebody who's a walkover, who always agrees with what you say, always agrees to your plans for everything, it's fun for a while, you know, getting our own way, like we like that. For a while. But at a certain time, that starts to lose momentum. A relationship needs both people investing in a similar way. If there's one person who's always the yes person, and the other one person is always the no person, imbalance will happen. It will change the dynamic. It will change it from adult being together to parent-child kind of dynamic. And marriage relationships are not meant to have that dynamic. You know, we can put so much of our energy into trying to get life smooth and steady. If only this happened, and if only this would just stay the same for a little while, then I'd be happy, or things could settle, or things can calm down. But that's not the nature of life. Nature of life is that there's always something else happening. And in a marriage, it's not any different. If we're able to accept that, okay, so this is the journey with this person, and we're able to flow with that, if we're able to be accepting of that, then we're really in that space of getting the most out of it, rather than fighting and wishing that it wasn't like this. If we're starting to fight the person for being who they are, we're trying to change the person from that, we've lost sight of the relationship. We've lost sight of the true connection between us. It's never our role to change each other. But we may inspire each other to change. That's definitely. By our admiration of each other, we may bring better habits, better practices. Yeah, that's very different. Trying to change people never works. So in the way that we're talking about this, we're really talking about how we are with ourselves, first of all. Before we ever even bring another person into it. How am I with myself? Do I like myself? Or do I want another person desiring me to fix that for me? If I feel desired by somebody else, I feel I might like myself more. It's always temporary. Or we never quite trust that they do. Did you ever find that? We never quite trust it. Like we believe them. You know, they might say that how much they love us, how much they fancy us, or how gorgeous they think we are. And we believe them because we know that they're not lying. But we don't fully trust it. We're not able to allow it into us, into that deep level, no matter how much truth there is in what they're feeling. So how deeply we can relate to each other in couple relationships is really about how deeply we relate in ourselves. If there's aspects of me or areas of me that I'm not really wanting to go, you know, it might be past stuff that we don't want to look at, or parts of our personality that we're just leaving well enough alone. Those are the things that can get in the way. You know, our ego stuff or our pride stuff can get in the way. You know, when you need to say sorry to fix an argument and you didn't do anything wrong, but it's just going to fucking fix the argument. Just say sorry. Yeah. Our relationship with ourselves will show us the bigger picture. It will show us the bigger picture of how do we really resolve this to move on. How do we really choose our battles? How do we choose the battles of the things that we'll grow from and will make us stronger? Or do we just nitpick and bicker with each other and everything becomes a battle and we just wear each other down? It's very hard to repair when we wear each other down in relationship. It's very hard to replenish. So if we start with our relationship with ourselves, how much I respect who I am, or how much I honor who I am, how much I admire who I am, how much I've grown myself into somebody that I like. it creates a certain standard, doesn't it? It creates a certain standard by which we recognize the other person. We recognize how, when we meet somebody else, how they fit or not fit with that. If we don't really know enough of who we are, we're kind of a bit blind when we meet somebody. Do you know? It's a bit of a Russian roulette. Oh, maybe this one will work. And we're kind of waiting to find out, does this work? We're not really in a space of getting to know the other person and growing. We're playing lottery instead of being in a relationship. So how I get to know myself, that depth, is really key. It's the depth of myself that I'm willing to go to with the other person. It's what becomes available to each other. That inner reservoir.